Alright, hello ladies and germs. So what we've got here today is a FS.com, let's see here, a 3900 24T4S. And this was donated by one of you awesome guys out there to for the channel. And I'm actually going to use it for training because I am currently trying to retrain myself with some stuff. So here is the first of a whole series of videos. I'm going to try to record everything in OBS, including the Magic SFP lab, which I'm going to have to redo. And I also have to do the ALGcom lab, which I'm currently working on right now. So I've got a whole bunch of vendor content that I've got to work on. But anyway, to the point. This thing here has dual AC power supplies on it, which are kind of pointless. As I've said, dual power supplies offer redundancy, but once you start working in DC systems, you don't necessarily need that because the system itself is so robust, the chances of it failing are slim. Not saying it can't happen, but it's just slim. It's unlikely that that would happen. So anyway, let me show you something funny. Woo. Look what happens when I open the switch up. 2 power supplies, 1 combiner board. But let me show you something really neat. This is this is out of a base cells ENB. This is a 48 volt to 12 volt buck converter. So you've got your 48 volt input right here and your 12 volt output right here. Now the cool thing is if I unplug this connector, they look the same, don't they? And what's really cool is they polarize the same. So what I'm saying is essentially I can actually take this base cells power supply, this conversion board, and use it to power a 12 volt switch. Because as I've said 1,000 times, is that most of these devices are 12 volts internally. So let's see here, if I add positive here, and negative here, would you look at that? I'm sure most of you can see that there's a blue light illuminated right here. And if I flip this thing up so you guys can actually see it, we have power. This thing is now powered on. Wow, what a crazy, crazy coincidence that I can actually use this power board to power this switch right here. So you know what I'm going to do? Because I'm working on this ALGcom lab, I am going to convert this switch to DC. And in doing so, I am probably just going to put this little barrel connector on the front because thank you so much. I believe it was Anastasia that actually showed us the Anderson Quick Connect bulkhead mount, but apparently you can't get those in Canada because, you know, you Canada. That's how most companies seem to feel, you Canada. I can't blame you either because it's we're not really doing too good politically right now. So anyway, and that is not giving away my political allegiance because honestly, I think I'm a full-on anarchist. So let's get this power board out of here because we're not going to need them. But these are going to be handy little 12-volt power boards. I'm actually going to attempt to check the current on these and see what they're capable of because I might use one for my window lights because I keep popping my power supplies. So let's get this little power board out of here now. You got all the power boards. All the power boards are going to go away. Because I also want to make sure that when I install that thing, I can have a little bit of thermal compound on it. I might not have the cap stands needed, but I can at least get a bit of an anchor on it without using thermal epoxy or some other janky method. We might be good. So now let's see if I can get this thermal, this heat sink right here. I can stick it right there, and it looks fairly safe. So what I'm probably going to do, since I can't actually anchor this thing properly, per se, make sure that nothing's going to explode by doing what I'm doing. And I think I'm simply going to, actually, you know what, I'm going to do it that way anyway. Just like that. That looks nice. And then I think what I'll do here is I'll just put a little bit of hot glue along here to hold it, because this is just a lab piece anyway. It's not like this is going in the field. And then that will give us our power here, and I can run these over here to a full bridge rectifier, and then to this little barrel connector, which I intend to install in the front of the device right here. And so then I can use one of these little terminals to connect this. And that will tie into the lab that's sitting behind me that we're building. And I use these guys to power most of the barrel connector type equipment. So anyway, I'm going to first start off by getting a little bit of this yummy, yucky thermal compound from Wakefield Engineering. And I'm actually going to use, I have a brush specifically for thermal compound. And I will just paint some of this on here. Not that it's going to need it, because I think this switch only draws like maybe a few milliamps to run. I think with full routing, if this is a layer 3 switch, I can't see using more than about 20 watts. So anyway, let's drop this guy in here like so. Just like that. And I'm going to press that. Cool. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Bloody hell. Let's pause that. Alright, well, back at her anyway. So, I took the liberty of, while I was, like, away from the computer I put some thermal compound on the bottom of the buck converter, and I stuck it down, and then I put a blob of glue. This is a real hack job, but like I said, this isn't going to be in a production environment. This is literally for my lab, so whatever. So, put a bunch of glue along here to hold it in place. And then I've also put a couple of stubs of hot glue here to act as cap stands to hold it in place, rather than drill it out and install cap stands. Now, I've also got my full bridge rectifier here. Full bridge rectifier, to quote Mehdi Sedegar, Electric Boom, one of my favorite YouTubers. Anyway, so now I'm just getting the last little details on here, and I'm going to be installing a barrel connector because I don't have one of the Andersons handy, and I really don't care. So let's get this other one. So I'm going to strip this off, and I'm going to put this on here, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to get my crimpers. I've got multiple pairs of crimpers on the go right now, so we'll just, There we go. By the way, is UPS not the worst delivery company on the planet? I mean, I just went upstairs to Thomas's for a second to give him a hand with something quickly, and the UPS guy ran to the door, didn't ring the doorbell or knock, stuck a sticker on the door and left. And that's not the first time that they've done that. So I'm telling you right now, UPS, you guys suck in so many ways. In fact, don't you love it when they'll, like, leave a parcel at the end of your laneway, or you receive your box and it's, like, smashed or crushed or whatever, or, you know, oh my God, I don't understand how the United Parcel Service is just, it's still alive. What a horrible company. That's why I told most of my people who send me repairs, we do not accept UPS, because they gave us such a hard time with border crossing stuff. It's just like, you need to submit your NAFTA documentations. You need to submit this. It's like, FedEx doesn't make us do that. Canada Post and the U.S. Postal Service don't make us do that. Nigerian Post doesn't make us do that. I mean, like, nobody makes us do that. It's just them. So, like, UPS. All right. So I'm just going to crimp another connector here, and I am going to, once I'm done this, I'm going to grab a couple of leads, and I'm going to drill this through, and I'm going to connect that. So these guys here are kind of cool. You got to put your plastic jacket inside of the connector here on the wide part, wider ones, and then that will allow you to hold on to the connector. So this goes on like so, and then you just crimp. There we go. Looks pretty good, eh? Although, I think this is the wrong die because it didn't pinch it all the way. So I'm just going to go in here with these guys and give it a little extra pinch. There we go. And that's on. Pretty cool that you can use the buck converter out of a base cells EMB for this. We actually got a bunch of base cells equipment in for repair and found out that you may as well call them disposable. So that was actually kind of funny. It's just like, oh, you can't fix these ones. That's a shame. So the client just said, well, just throw everything in the garbage and recycle it or whatever. And so before we threw it out, I scavenged to see what kind of stuff we could get of it that might be useful for screwing around with in the lab here, and the power supplies were actually pretty cool. Also, scored a few of these very nice what are these called? C-Linko connectors. The C-Linko connectors are really nice. So I removed these from the chassis as well and kept them because they're nice little pass-throughs, right? And you can actually buy C-Linko connectors on AliExpress. C-Linko, the actual brand. And in fact, for my e-bike that I'm building, I bought these power connectors. These are the newer version of the C-Linko power connectors. These ones are watertight. As you can see, they've got the gasket and all that in them. But the cool thing is that these ones that I got here, quick lock. So now I've got 2 of these going on my e-bike battery. This is going on the motor assembly, the drive controller for the e-bike. And then I've got another one that's going on a boost converter that goes onto a solar panel so I can solar charge my bike. Neat, eh? So anyway, we got power here. So now I can run these connectors over to, what I should actually do is I should bend these a little bit sideways. I'll bend this one and stick it on there. There we go. Put that on like so. Hopefully they don't snap off because they're cheap connectors. And now, let us get, this seems good. I could also put a blob of solder on there to stiffen it up, but let's add the barrel connector now. So, what is our slide here? I am a fucking disaster. What do we got here? And I'm not even going to bother editing this. I'm just going to literally throw it up on YouTube with a thumbnail, which, hold on, let me get the thumbnail right now. Where's my cell phone? There, I got my thumbnail. Why? Because it takes too much time to edit and I can't find a reliable editor. Or one that I can afford. That was a big problem right there. Because you really do get what you pay for. Alright, so let's see what diameter I've got here. So I need the second here, which is 25/64. I don't know, I can barely read it. Let's see here. Alright, let's see if that works. Almost. It needs to be like a hair bigger. It needs to be a doll hair bigger. Move, you stupid chair. My God. Can't anybody make good wheels for a freaking chair? Am I just becoming a cynical, bitter person? I think I am. That's what life does to you. I'm not an asshole. Life made me this way. Almost. It's like almost perfect. You know what? Let's try something. Where's my step bit? It's like pretty much that size. I'll just run it through a couple more times. That might ream it. I just thread it in now, maybe? Hopefully? Come on. Ah, almost. Wants to thread. Just a tiny bit bigger. It's just that drill bit is not quite the right size. Oh, I hate it. You know what I need to do? If I was a smart person, I'd find the exact drill bit for this and then I would order one. Oh my God, almost. I'd rather have it tight than loose anyway. So fucking close, come on. What do I have? Do I have anything that I can ream it with? Because reaming it would probably help a lot. Ream it with metal, not plastic. Hold on. I do own a reamer. I know I own a reamer, actually. Ah. This is a reamer. God damn, they are handy. Need to make something just perfect. A couple little twists. Almost, not quite. Put it in again. Oh, it's so close. Now this is tapered, so I should probably just do a quick little, if I can. Oh, God, it's so close. Oh, got her. Beautiful. Look at that. That looks perfect. That actually looks like it's supposed to be there, right? I don't know why, but I like these. This isn't a PoE switch, but I love these little connectors. Now we need to get a piece of wire for this. We need one about that long. Let's see here. There we go. So I'm going to do my center pin first. Let's get that off of here. Solder going. There we go. I've got a huge, massive tip on here, by the way. Sometimes I like them bigger. There we go. And I can. I'm thinking back to that UPS driver. I'm pretty sure I know exactly who it was. The dude was weird. So, I mean, I'm weird, right? But I'm talking like weird, you know? Oh, if this is offensive, by the way, bugger off. Okay, so anyway. One day I was sitting on the porch working, because I work on the porch all the time in the summertime, as you probably already know. And this driver comes by, and like, he's got a note in no box. And he's a UPS driver. I'm like, oh, hey, do you have a delivery for us? And he's like, you're lucky you're there, because if you weren't home, I couldn't leave the parcel here. I'm like, well, where is the parcel? He's like, it's in the truck. I'm like, so you weren't going to come to the door or anything? Well, if you're not home. It's like, nah, I see what you're doing, dude. You were intentionally going to the door, leaving a sticker and buggering off. But like, weirdest dude ever. Like, go individuality. But he had like a toque on, and these like fake black dreadlocks. They almost look like Native American type pigtails or something. It was weird. I was just like, what is Buddy's problem? Has society broken you too? So either way, I was miffed at the guy, so I decided I would try to actually call UPS and like report the dude, because like, dude, no, you leave your parcels just like everybody else. Okay, we have security cameras and everything. So anyway, I tried calling UPS. Hold, nothing. And eventually I just gave up and said, whatever. But now I'm feeling a little nasty about that, so that makes me want to be a social media Karen, to be honest. God, that irritates me. It's just like, come on, guys, life sucks, but you know what? We're all in it together, so don't be dicks to each other. So I can't say that dude was having a bad day because he's done this before, or attempted to. So, alright, let's see here. Not bad, we're under 20 minutes for this. I've been trying to keep this video a little bit shorter because I know nobody has attention spans anymore, and I don't want to make you guys wait for too long for things, so... There we go, we're going to put on our nut. I've got nut in my hand. So yeah, if you guys want to like flood my comment section with this horrible hot glue job I did to like anchor that circuit board in place, the buck converter, by all means go for it, because really I don't fucking care. This isn't going out for a customer. This is mine. Oh, but you do craftsmanship on literally everything you do. Well, great. But if one, I'm really pressed for time because I actually have another booking coming up in a few minutes. And two, realistically, as long as this bloody thing works well, that's all that matters to me. It's just, I just need it to work and do its job simply for the purposes of the upcoming ALGcon videos I'm doing. Now, after I've seen how nasty these connectors work, I think I'm actually just going to take them off. These are cheapies anyway. Like, these are part of like a kit that I bought on Amazon. And I really don't trust that. They're just kind of janky. So we're just going to, I'm just going to solder these leads on because it'll make me feel better. Now, you're probably wondering why I put the buck converter in here. Well, just to let you know, this board is 12 volts, as are most switches, right? So the idea here is that I want to hook it up to a 48 volt DC plant rather than double convert it by, installing a 24 volt to 12 volt converter. This gives me more diversity because I can install this in almost any plant because it is 48, right? Now, I could simply swap it out for a 24 volt to 12 volt converter if I wanted to, but why bother? And also, FYI, you could actually run this straight off 12 volts. Now, just a little tip. I always put a full bridge rectifier in it. And you know what? I've heard some really silly arguments from people. Why would you do that? You're going to lose a point something of a volt. It's unnecessary. It's like, no, it's not. And in fact, most telecom equipment that you find up on towers and whatnot, if you look on radio devices, you'll see a Phoenix connector or a twin pin connector of some sort that won't have a polarization on it. Why? Because internally on this telecom equipment, you'll typically find that there is a full bridge rectifier for polarity correction and to help with the prevention of damage caused by mixed plant of negative 48 and standard 48, or I should say standard 48 and positive 48. That'll blow your mind, right? Because in telecom, negative 48 is your standard, and most of us are used to standard systems like automotive and household system type stuff, which is the opposite. And actually, a little factoid, if I'm not mistaken, and by all means, troll me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but in Europe, actually, I believe European vehicles are actually negative 12. So that means that the chassis of the vehicle is actually the reference to positive, whereas the negative is actually the isolated system within the vehicle. Whereas in North America, most of our vehicles, you'll actually find that negative is your reference to the chassis, and the positive is the isolated aspect of the system. Okay? Kind of an interesting little factoid. So, yeah, anyway, that was my rant. I'm making noises so that you guys aren't bored while I'm, soldering, because God forbid. And besides, other than that, it also helps me get through this a little bit faster. So let's see here. Can you stay here for a second there, bud, please? Thank you. I should invest in a third hand. Here we go. So this is the input now. So this actually goes on the AC pins. That's the whole purpose of this, is that the AC pins, it doesn't matter which side positive goes into, as long as it's getting power. And there's a differential between the two input leads. So you have a zero reference and an actual hot. In this case here, we're going to have 48 volts plus minus. So if that's the case, you can hook those up to the two AC pins on the full bridge rectifier, and that will give you positive and negative out because the full bridge rectifier does the polarity correction. There. All right, she's done. I almost stuck that into the camera. That is not smart. Done, Sarah. Okay, so this thing's essentially done. I'm gonna have to give it a little shake to get all the metal filings out. All right, so that's done. So now, let me grab grab this. I need this one. We're gonna give this guy 48 volts. So I'm gonna plug in my 48 volts here into the front. And I've got 48 on this device already, and I am going to connect it. And there you go. Power supply, the buck converter's on. You can see right here that the board status is on. And if we look at the front of the unit, we have power. So now this thing can go on the rack, and I can start learning FS, their operating system, both the GUI and the command line. And now I can actually use this for my presentation that I'm doing for ALGcom, because the wonderful people at ALGcom have provided me with a lot of power equipment to show to you guys and demonstrate and do experiments with. So hence, you know, this beautiful work of art behind me, which you guys will be able to see that next. And like I said, while I'm filling time here, or filling noise while I'm, you know, doing the assembly, I'm trying a different way to record now, which makes it easier for me, where when I'm in the lab, I'm gonna just try to use these Anchor C200 cameras on OBS, and I'm hoping that I can literally just have a couple of these OBS cameras, and then I got this Bluetooth little macro pad, so I can actually go scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, record, pause. I forget what these do. Oh, yeah, record, pause. What do those do again? I guess I'll have to find it. But anyway, the idea is that I can actually keep this like on me or to the side, and then I can switch between scenes and have OBS record the entire video for me, so that I don't need a camera person. So here's hoping, right? Now, where did I put the screws for this? That's gonna be the next question. Here they are. So, yeah, I'm trying to streamline everything because I do apologize that I haven't gotten content out, but honestly, I am very, very burned out, just with life in general. I mean, you guys know that I'm happy and whatnot, but whatever. So, oh wait, I'm oversharing. Sorry. But anyway, so yeah, I really want to get more content out. Trust me, I'm not going anywhere. I know that I said that I'm going to take a break from YouTube, and I kind of have, but whatever. I mean, you guys need this. I'm trying to do it. It's just, it's really hard when you have to do it all on your own, right? So anyway, I'm going to put the screws back into this chassis here, and then this is going to go into the rack behind me so that I can demonstrate how the beautiful midspan injector from ALGcom works. And thank you guys for watching. I hope this video stimulated you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, because I do want to grow the channel a bit. Be nice if I could do this for a living, right? And yeah, if you want to help me out, just join the Patreon. Remember, Facebook. Here we go, the social media part. Facebook, Instagram. Apparently I'm on TikTok, Twitter, Twatter, whatever. I'm on them all, apparently. It's just a pain in the ass to update them all. There we go. We've got a couple more screws to go on here and she'll be done. But yeah, you can literally convert any network device, actually pretty much any device. Almost all of these things are 12 volts internally. The Cisco switches, the PoE switches from Cisco, they have 12 volts to run the board. Some of them have 12, 5, and 3. Some of them have 12, 3, but they typically have 48 volts to actually power the PoE aspect of the switch itself. So with that being said, you can literally convert almost any of these network devices if you just open them up, have the guts to do so, and swap the equipment out. There we go. Got one. Thank you, Fat Gut, for holding that up. Okay, so we've got one rack here in. Give her a little tweaking. You know, these C200s actually pretty good. They're supposed to be 2K, and they're only like 89 bucks Canadian. So with the inflation and a horrible economy being the way that it is, hell's to the yeah. By the way, thank you, political leader, for causing the dollar to crash as badly as it is, while still increasing our taxes and everything else. We appreciate that. I'm missing a screw. What screw is missing? There it is. I found it. All right, this is going to go into the rack. And by the way, you'll probably notice that I put the power connector on the front of the switch. Yeah, I did that so I can do all the power stuff on the front. Hey, voila. All right, that's it. Love you guys. And if you're having a shitty day, you are loved. We'll catch you later.